Hello, everyone, and welcome to an exciting episode of Exploring Our Secret Past. I am here with Nikki. Carla, unfortunately, is out of town on her way back from visiting family, so we wish her a safe flight and hope that she returns for some much needed rest before our next episode. But with that being said, before I hand the show over to you, Nikki, I got to give a shout out to my step niece who created this awesome shirt for me. It's got my YouTube logo and channel on it, and I told her I'd advertise her name, K&K Creations 295. So check them out if you want some really cool shirts. They do all kinds. And now, Nikki, I hand the floor over to you if you'd like to introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name's Nikki, and I am a paranormal investigator slash medium slash clairvoyant, and I am based in Australia.
I was gonna say when you said slash psycho, I was like, wait, what?
Just gotta love the weather. We'll just say it's computer issues.
So what's it like being a paranormal investigator in Australia?
It's quite enjoyable. Oh, hello, Anthony. So yeah, pretty much we do what you guys do in the US, and so I'm just reading comments, and yeah, we pretty much do what you guys do.
Hey, Rich. So saying that you do what we do, what? So let me ask it in another way.
Yeah.
What's it like being a spiritual sensitive? You know, how does that help you out in the paranormal?
So with myself, I can feel energy, negative, positive. I help other investigators around the world, such as the US. And yeah, just keep them safe is the main thing that I like to do. And yeah, I like to travel the world, meet new people, and just help them out is my main thing at the moment.
That's really cool. So where are some of the fun places you've been to?
So the plan is there's a place called Fairbanks in West Australia, and there's a little paranormal group that hopefully I will be investigating shortly with. I had to cancel last week because I was unwell, but yeah, hopefully I get to start investigating with them shortly. Hi, Mike.
Oh, I'm sure they'll be lucky to have you.
Thank you. Hey, Carla.
So,
Michael, so what got you into the paranormal?
What got me in the paranormal was I had experience when I was 2, and it's kind of been around me all my life, so kind of was born into it. I just didn't realize until about 4 years ago that people actually really went out and investigated. Hello, David.
Hey, David.
So, were you born being insensitive, or is it something you learned to do over time?
So with myself, I've always been into the paranormal, but growing up it was kind of like shamed upon type of thing. And I recently came out and was like, hey, I can actually feel energy of people. I can see spirit. Sometimes I'm like, hey, you need to back off because I'm trying to sleep. But yeah, it's quite enjoyable. Helping others is my main goal. What got me into the paranormal? I started at a really young age. I guess I would see little things and not realizing it's actual spirits. And then I went to a few psychic fairs and picked up crystals and stuff like that. And then I was given a book which actually looks like a Ouija board, which I don't recommend using. But yeah, I got into that a little bit. And then as I grew up older, I stopped. And then recently I started back up again, probably about 8 years ago when I met Stephen. So yeah. that's what got me into the paranormal field.
And when you say Steven, you're talking about the network guru,
Yes,
Steven.
yes, that's Stephen. So what happened with him was I had a dream, and I decided to go live on Facebook, and I was like, oh, hey, this is really cool. There's a paranormal group investigating, and I had no idea who he was. And I messaged this guy, and I was like, hey, just be really careful. One of your investigators is going to walk into a room, and it's going to be pitch red. And there'll be a cameraman, so stay facing this way. You're going to walk out. He's going to walk to the left, and there's a room which is completely red. He's going to A, trip over, B, he's going to get pushed, or C, all above. And not knowing who he was, I was like, hey, there's a guy called Stephen. And pretty much it happened within 48 hours. And there's actual footage of it. He sent it to me. And there's footage of him. He's walking past, he feels really dizzy, and he gets pushed in the back and he breaks a lot of beautiful equipment. So that's how I met Stephen.
Wow, that's quite a meeting.
So very interesting. But yeah, I had no idea who he was, and he messaged me and he's like, hey, this is who you were dreaming about. I'm okay. I did injure myself. I did break a lot of equipment, but I was like, at the end of the day, your safety comes first. So
I gotta say, kudos to you for having the courage to come out and put that out there, because I know a lot of people who would be afraid of being mocked or, being like, yeah, you're just saying that. But yeah, that's cool that you actually went out and tried to warn him, and unfortunately just didn't get to him in time, or maybe it was meant to be that way.
yeah. So yeah, shout out to Stephen.
Yes, we love Steven on our show.
Yep.
And
So
so
yeah.
Greg says, hello, everyone. It was great to see you last night, Nikki.
Okay. Hello. Thank you for watching my show that I was with last night. I had a lot of fun. Shout out to Matt and everyone else on that lovely channel.
And then Yvonne Dickinson says, this is great. Well, thank you, Yvonne.
Thank you. This is my first time actually doing a live with Michael. So yeah.
I know. Then let's see. It was actually, the ironic thing is you actually got sick when we were originally supposed to do it. So I'm glad you're feeling better and able to be on the show tonight.
Awesome. Yeah, I lost my voice, so I couldn't really do a show without talking. So yeah, it's good to be back and healthy. So sending love to everyone.
Well, I mean, you could, but it would be a one-sided show.
Do puppetry, I guess. Sorry.
Yeah, we'd have to make it a 2-hour show for you to have you time to write down your answers to all the questions.
Ellie Craig.
So, what is kind of the paranormal field like in Australia? Is it growing? Is it kind of being still pushed under the carpet, or?
I think it's been more open. I think it's kind of, before it was kind of like hidden back. I think a lot of people are afraid to come out and say, hey, I can see spirits, because it's frowned upon quite a lot. But at the end of the day, just be yourself and enjoy your gifts. And if you don't have gifts, that's fine. Enjoy investigating.
I agree. Investigating is fun, whether you have gifts or not, because you never know. You could be on an investigation and start sensing something and realizing, oh, your gifts are opening up.
Yeah.
So where's a place in Australia that you'd like to investigate if you get the chance?
Ooh.
Besides Fairbanks. You mentioned going to Fairbanks soon.
Probably Fremantle Prison would be really good. It's no longer working, but yeah, I'd love to do that one.
So is that a recent prison, or is that back from the penal Colony days?
Connolly Days slash, I think it's shot in the late 1990s. So yeah, and they also do day trips there. They do ghost tours. People jump out and pretend to be convicts and stuff like that. You can actually in a canoe and go underneath, which would be really cool to do. But yeah, I've always wanted to investigate Fremantle Prison.
So you can go under the prison.
Yep.
That is wild. I don't think I've ever heard of anyone being able to go under a prison.
Yeah, you can go in a little canoe and go under and investigate and stuff like that. So yeah, I love to do that place. York, I like to do. That's a little town, probably about 2 hours out of Perth.
So what's going on in York that's got your attention?
Just the old buildings. I really enjoy. My daughter absolutely loves driving there, so yeah, she's a little. I wouldn't say paranormal investigator, but she loves the drives and looking around. So I'm just.
There's nothing wrong with that. So, does your being sensitive? How does you think that affects your like being a parent and everything? Do you use your gifts with your kids or no?
So I don't use it with my daughter, but I do use it on a daily basis. It kind of helps me kind of watch people a bit more. And always I tell people go with your gut is your main thing. So yeah, it's kind of helped me on that side.
Well, that's cool. So, being a parent, how soon, if your daughter was interested in the paranormal, would you say yes? We can go on an investigation together, or would you be like, nope, you got to wait until you're done with college, much older?
I think if she did ever reach out and be like, "Hey, I want to go investigation with you," I'd be like, "Yeah, no worries." But I'll kind of watch her back a little bit, especially being non-verbal. She can't communicate to other people that, "Hey, I'm in trouble," but she can communicate to me. So, yeah.
Well, that's a cool. That actually could be helpful because you get a lot of EVPs work done with her around because you won't have all the background chatter. So, what other stuff are you into besides like being a sensitive and helping people?
So I do some artwork, which is above me. I did that when I was 9 months pregnant. So yeah, love doing that. Love traveling the world. Love meeting people. Love being on these paranormal shows and helping people. So yeah, and love traveling and trying to cook.
Trying to cook?
Trying to cook. So
What's the dish
and
that you tried to cook that you
yeah,
didn't quite make it?
the good old butter chicken. So short story, I was live on investigation watching a team in the US, and I totally forgot about the butter chicken that was left in the microwave and kind of destroyed the microwave and the butter chicken.
How?
Yeah, always read the packaging is my advice. Hey, Courtney.
Hey, Courtney. So let's see. You're into art. You're into being sensitive, paranormal. Is there anything you don't do?
Skydive. I hate heights.
Really?
Not good with heights. Buildings, I'm good, but heights, no. Never gone skydiving. Couldn't pay me enough to do that, but if you want to do it, go for it. But yeah. Hey, David.
Yeah. Thank you, Rich, for sharing. Oh, that's right. Courtney is saying we have Beer Fest coming up in New Orleans in 2023. You going to be coming to that?
I've got some personal stuff going on at the moment, so I won't be able to attend that, but hopefully in the future I'll be able to come to other ones.
Anthony wants to know.
Yes.
Like destroyed as in needed to buy a new one, or just destroyed as in had to seriously clean it out?
Bit of both. So I tried cleaning out, that didn't really work, so I went and bought a new one.
You know, you don't have to sink down in the chair over that. We've all had that experience.
Yep. But I've never burnt water. So I don't know how someone else burnt water, but, give that a go.
You know, you laugh, but my niece called me one day and told me she burnt water. And I was like, how do you burn water? I don't understand what you're saying. I never knew you could burn water.
Me neither. But, if it happens, it happens.
Yeah. Let's see. Anthony says.
Oh, thank you, Anthony. See, I started a trend, burning food in the microwave.
Actually, funny note is I don't even own a microwave.
What do you like to cook?
I like to cook pasta sauces, or chicken, like chicken tenders, or one time I did take and batter up some lobster tails and made fried lobster tails. That was really good.
I'll be on the next flight over.
You're more than welcome to come over.
Yep. But so I've never tried waffles. I've never had a waffle.
You've never had a waffle?
Never had a waffle. I'm putting it out there. I know it's a little bit crazy, but I've never had a waffle.
Wow. That is a new one on me. I kind of figured everybody would have experienced pancakes and waffles. They're kind of standards.
Yeah, pancakes, yes, but not waffles.
Interesting.
I googled the other day. You go.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, okay. I googled the other day. Apparently, a lot of people in the US eat waffles with chicken.
Yes.
Yeah.
Chicken and waffles is really good. Okay. We like maple, which comes from Canada. So, it's fortunate we have a neighbor that has maple for us.
What's maple?
Maple is syrup, sweet, a little sweet, and it's really good if you can get it really dark. It's comes from the maple tree, actually.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So what's the kind of? I know. I wanted to learn about Perth in Australia.
Yeah, no, you don't have to worry about the kangaroos. They're not just running around everywhere. A lot of people are scared of that. We do have koalas,
they were
but
more on the east side.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about them because they're closely getting extinct due to bushfires. Don't have to worry about spiders so much. I know Scott's a little bit scared of spiders. Don't have to worry about that.
What about fire?
We're kind of like California, if you had to kind of guess the weather.
Yeah. So what kind of insects do you have there, like fire ants or anything like that?
Being bitten by one of those, they hurt. Fire ants, spiders, snakes. We do have kangaroos, but as I said before, they're mostly out in bushland. Cow, sheep, horses, pretty much everywhere. So yeah.
Oh, so you got a little bustling farmland around. So what is life like in Australia?
Hot. At the moment, we're going through summer, so it's a little bit warm, but yeah, it's 23°C. So I think that's
Probably in the
right.
70s, I think, for us, somewhere around there.
Yeah. But yeah, the maximum's 32 today, so it's gonna be hot.
Yeah.
But yeah,
So,
good old day.
fun fact, Australia, being where it lies on the time zones, is actually a day ahead of us. So there was a little bit of confusion where she was all on me last night going, "Don't we have a show to do it?" I was like, "Yeah, but our show's on Tuesday night." And she goes, "It is Tuesday night." I was like, "Okay, you're Wednesday, our Tuesday."
Uh,
So that's a fun fact for Australia.
the time differences, yeah.
And so I heard it is true that the water runs differently in Australia.
That is true. We run anti-clockwise.
Still waiting for someone to explain to me why you're the only place on the planet that decided to run backwards water.
I have no idea. And same with driving. We drive on the opposite side of the road with you guys,
Yeah,
which could be quite dangerous if you go, Australian comes over to the US, don't drive on the wrong side of the road.
I wouldn't recommend it.
My husband did that. He had the map the wrong way around. He ended up in 3 different states.
So, what's the best way to travel in Australia?
I would say drive. But if you want to, like, if you live near the city and quite close, public transport's pretty good.
Yeah, so let me put it this way: if I was in Perth trying to get to Sydney, what would be the best way?
So depends on where you live. So I'm about 45 minutes drive, and then a 5-hour plane flight.
Oh, so you actually would fly to Sydney?
Yeah, you can drive, but it'll take you probably about a week and a bit. So, yep,
Wow, I have to say, looking at the landmass, it doesn't look that big, but wow, that's impressive.
I think.
I was just thinking you were wanting to take a flight because you didn't want to drive in the desert.
Yeah, no, it's a 5-hour flight, and then from there, if I wanted to go to the US, it would be another 24 hours,
Yeah,
and then from there, wherever I drive to.
I gotta say, I'm surprised you guys get tourist income from places like the U.S. because I can't imagine being on a flight that long.
Yeah, no, me neither. Yeah, I did it once. Never again. I was a child. Never again. Because the plane's 10,000 feet in the air.
Yeah, you got nowhere to go. No, it's like,
It's like, well, all I can do is go up or down, and I'm going to end up in Atlantic Ocean. So,
yes. Anthony, I do know my waffles. There's Belgian, there's blueberry, strawberry, regular waffles. I do miss the Holland waffles. Those are my favorite, but they are getting harder and harder to find.
yeah. But we did have a Taco Bell's that recently opened, so I tried that the other day. Very
Oh, you
interesting
guys had
food.
Taco Bell?
Yeah.
So what'd you try?
I tried the tacos. So that was quite interesting, very hot. They're like mild, and I'm like, this ain't mild. So yeah. Just say how I felt today. Hubby's
So
like, you okay? I thought you like hot food. I was like, no, bye.
So you're gonna go back to Taco Bell or nope?
I'll try it again. But I think I'll order something else. But yeah,
Now
it's
I
quite
enjoy like quesadillas. Those are pretty good.
But yeah, as soon as American place opens up in Australia, there's lines everywhere. We've got 2 Taco Bells in Perth. One where I am, which is the north of the side of the river, and then one on the south. And yeah, people were lining up for like 4 hours.
Wow.
And I'm like, there's a thing called Deliveroo. So yeah, we did that.
Wow. I could not imagine standing in line 4 hours for a Taco Bell.
Yeah, no. Just go to Coles, make one yourself. But yeah, each to their own.
Yep. So, what other American restaurants do you get there?
Um, that is a very good question. I will have to Google. Do you guys have McDonald's?
Yes, we do.
Was that American or Australian?
That was American.
There we go.
Well, hold on.
KFC.
McDonald's with MC Donald's is American. If you got an A there, that's probably all you.
Yeah, we got the American one. Yeah. Hungry
Does yours
Jack's is
still have the
Australian.
golden arches? Because ours have
Yes,
done
we
away
do.
with the golden arches.
Yep, still got the big golden arches. And there's one close by to my house. So yeah, when I feel packaged, I'm just like, bye, I'm going to McDonald's. We do have Hungry Jack's, which is kind of like Burger King.
Okay.
We have Subway. I don't know if you guys have that.
We do have Subway. I don't know if we invented a Subway, but we have it.
American. What else? That was weird. I think that's pretty much it.
So, what's some other fun myths about Australia that you hear a lot of that are true or not true?
Good question. um, that is a really good question. I can't answer it. Apparently, Perth is one of the hotspots at the moment to travel to. So, yeah, come on and say good day and put a shrimp on the barbie.
So that really is a thing, shrimp on the Barbie.
On the barbie, yeah. Which is a prawn on barbecue for people that don't know what a shrimp is.
That is
Sorry.
so cool. So, kind of wondering a little bit too is you say you see spirits sometimes.
Yep.
So, do you see the outline of the spirit, or do you see them in full form, or do you see like a mist? How do you see them?
Mine's mostly through dreams, or if I'm watching like an investigation type of thing, I'll get like a Photoshop of what the spirit looks like. And then I'm kind of like, hey, you negative, positive, male, female. Sometimes I will ask, hey, do you know that you've passed? Because sometimes spirits don't know that they've actually passed away. So yeah, I kind of just do that.
So, what's the wildest dream that involved spirit that, besides Steven, you had to deal with?
Probably the one that it was actually an investigation I was watching live on this broadcast with Howard, and someone was investigating, and Howard was like, "Oh, what do you think?" I was the one-man manor, and I kept having an image of someone falling down a flight of stairs, and the pain in my head was just I actually had to leave and then come back. It literally felt like someone just got a baseball bat and whacked me in the back of the head. And then we actually found out that a person had been murdered and fallen down a flight of stairs. So, yeah.
Wow. Remind
That
me
was
to
pretty.
reach out to you when I'm on investigations.
So yeah, I had a headache for about a week and a half after that. I was in so much pain. So yeah.
So, what do you do to protect yourself when you're having these dreams so they
Yeah,
don't
sure.
attach to you?
So I ask for my spirit guides, which is Archangel Michael, Archangel Raphael, and then I do my angels, which I believe is my grandfather. He was the first person that actually passed. Short story: I was 3, and I was playing cards on bed with him, and my late grandmother, she was in the kitchen, and he had actually passed away, and I was trying to wake him up, going oppa oppa oppa, and she came running in, and he was actually passed away. So yeah, that's
Wow.
one of my little things that have happened. But yeah, I know he's always around, so because my mum was always like, "Oh, he's always had your back" and stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah, I love when family's around and watching over and keeps us from doing some of the stupid stuff we will truly regret. And
yeah. But yeah, learn from your mistakes.
that's the key, learning.
Learning the main one, learn from your mistakes and just grow. But always be respectful. That's my main thing with investigating. Egos aside, just be respectful. And same in life. You don't have to be mates with me, but you will be respectful. And if you're not going to be respectful, well, there's a door. Bye.
That is so true. And I will say, as far as I go, when I'm investigating, 9 times out of 10, I will not instigate. And I am like, seriously, why do people need the feelings to instigate?
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So, what's your favorite paranormal shows to watch?
The first paranormal show I watched was Taps. Um, I did get into Ghost Adventures a little bit, but then I kind of like stepped back. Um, at the moment, I'm into watching. I don't know if you guys get it. It's the Golden Brothers in the US. Um, they're quite
Uh,
interesting.
we don't have
Uh,
I've never seen Golden Brothers, but we have Ghost Brothers.
so yeah, we've got those. What else? I've got so many in the top of my head. Um, Taps, as I said, Ghost Ventures, Ghost Hunters. Um, sorry, Spirit World, I think it's called. Also, I like watching the show that has Jack Osborne in it with his family. That's kind of funny. So, yeah.
And
Kindred Spirits, that's the one, Raymond.
so, if you had the opportunity to be on a show, which one of those shows would you totally be like, oh my God, I'd so got to be on that show?
Probably Taps or Spirit Hunters, or Kindred Spirits. Just the way they act or investigate is more my field. I'm more into helping people and being positive. Not putting anyone down, but yeah, I don't really like the way that ghost hunters or ventures kind of do their thing. So
Yeah, I've said on the show several times too that, yeah, if you're going to investigate and lock me in a place by padlock and come back the next day after stirring up trouble, you're pretty much never
yeah,
going to see me enter that building because
yeah, yeah,
that
no,
is not cool to me. I'm like, if you're going to stir the pot, at least have the balls to go in and face what you stirred up. Don't send somebody else. That's
I don't
always
like
been
that.
my feeling. Yep,
Yeah,
I'm
no,
with you, Rich. That's not cool to do.
no. And you don't go into someone's house and stir up stuff and then just leave and then be like, hey, the owners have to deal with it. No.
Yeah, that's definitely true. You have to be, I think, at an even higher standard when you're doing homes versus buildings.
Sorry.
So, if you were on an investigation and you started seeing like artwork on the floors or stuff that like other teams have done, what's like your reaction to that? Are you like going, "Oh my god, I can't believe people did this," and just start going pointing it out, or do you just like, yeah, walk away?
I'm pretty much just walk away. I kind of like when I do watch investigations and stuff and other people, I kind of let them do their thing. And then I'll come across if I feel like they're at danger, I'll be like, hey, you may want to watch where you're walking. You may want to watch this spirit because they're a little bit nasty. Or hey, you may want to watch your back. But yeah, I pretty much go my own thing. I don't listen to what other people have said. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Anthony. Thank you for coming.
Hey,
Thank you for chatting with us, and have a good night.
bye, Anthony.
So, let me ask you the question in this form. So,
Mm-hmm.
you walk into, say, someone's house
Mm-hmm.
that somebody's investigated before,
Mm-hmm.
and you go to sit in a chair and you notice somebody like painted like a pentagram symbol on the ground. Do you
Mm-hmm.
like sit there and go, okay, I'm not gonna even touch this because
Yeah.
that's there, or are you
Mm-hmm.
like, do you try to find out who did that, or do you just walk away?
I've never come across that. But I think if I did, I'll kind of be like, hey, that's not cool. But I'll try to figure out why they've done that and a little bit more history about the house or the property, and just try and help them through that way.
All right, cool. So, what advice would you have for someone if, like, they have a team come in,
Mm-hmm.
they do ritual, so to speak, in their house to try and communicate with the spirit and then leave? What advice do you have for that homeowner to
Mm-hmm.
try and close whatever they left open?
My advice would get a dermatologist um, to come in or a priest if it's that bad, because at the end of the day, your safety is the most paramount. I think that teams that do that um, should kind of maybe just be careful because you don't know what you're stirring up, and just be respectful to the spirits and also the homeowners.
Right. Because I'm not saying, the investigators left it open on purpose. I'm just meaning
Yep.
they don't realize they opened a portal.
Yep.
And so,
Um, yeah, maybe reach out to a priest or a dermatologist, such as Howard.
so,
Just putting that out there.
so, interesting question for you. Like you mentioned going to Fairbanks and investigating with this team.
Mhm.
Since I'm sure you've done homework on them and not
Mhm.
just going blind, but if they start doing something you don't agree with,
Yeah.
I know you said you would walk away and do your own thing, but
Mhm.
do you then at the end go in and try to close whatever may have been opened, or do you just leave and sit and be like, hey, if something happens, let us know?
I would probably try and get help because I can't really do that. But yeah, I'll kind of be like, hey, maybe we should work this way and try and work as a team, because at the end of the day, you are a team, and just trying to help, yeah, pretty much reach out to someone that can provide that service which I can't. So yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
no,
So Rich has a really good question for you.
Mhm.
Are you able to tell if someone has an attachment?
That's a good question. I haven't really worked on that side of it so much. Um, if their personality does start changing and a loved one sees it quite and it's like dramatic, then I would personally see some help from someone that can help you in that field. But thank you for asking the question.
So you pick up more stuff than in sleep mode than in day-to-day mode. Is
Yes.
that
Yep. So with if I'm watching a live feed on Facebook or wherever it is, I will ask for my guys to help that team, and I would get like little screenshots in my head of what's happening. Also, I can feel the spirit. So if there is, say, a male coming through, I'll be like, hey, there's a male spirit on your left. You may want to ask this type of question. Or you may just want to back off and give that spirit a few minutes to be like, hey, this person's actually cool and they're trying to help me. They're not going to attack me. Because as I before, some spirits don't know that they have actually passed.
yeah? So have you ever on a live said to
Mm-hmm.
someone, "Hey, you have a spirit wanting, like you're saying, to talk to you about this,"
Mm-hmm.
and the team is like doesn't pay attention and doesn't acknowledge it? Do you keep persisting and keep bringing it up, or do you just go to the spirit and just say, "Hey, I tried"?
If they're in danger, I'll kind of be like, hey, you need to kind of just back off a little bit, um, because that spirit's getting ticked, and just be careful and watch your back. Or sometimes I may just leave it and be like, hey, they don't want to ask that question. That's totally fine.
Yeah, because I can say from personal experience, when you're doing a Facebook Live, you don't always get to see all the comments that are
Yeah.
coming in at that time,
Mhm.
especially if you're doing something. So that's why I was curious if you would keep persistently so often in the chat, be like, hey, the spirits want to talk to you about this. Hey, the spirits want to talk to you about this, or be like, sorry, I tried. They're not paying attention. Move on.
Um, yeah, I've had that in the past. There was a team investigating, and I kept having this boy coming through, and he's like shouting at me. He's like, tell them this. But then I was like, hey, they're kind of busy at the moment. Maybe try a few minutes later. And then he kind of like stepped back and was like, okay, these people are, because he was just kind of sussing them out. Because you've got to imagine it is pretty scary as a child that has passed and you don't know that you've passed. These people walking in going, hey, by the way. So yeah, I was kind of just like, hey, maybe just give them a few minutes or a few seconds to kind of get to know the investigators, I guess.
Okay.
I agree.
So, Greg, my name is Michael, and I'm on with Nikki. She's our guest. So, if you have any questions, just type them out and I'll put them up and make sure we get them asked.
Mhm. And if I can't answer them straight away, I'll PM you, private message you.
And if you have questions for me, Greg, feel free to ask away. I know Nikki's the guest, but I'll answer any questions you have as well on any topics that we brought up.
Yeah.
So you actually can communicate on a level with the spirits to get them to calm down and take a moment other than, because I know a lot of people are like, if I don't say this, they'll just keep screaming it in my head.
Yeah.
And I've had moments of that.
Yeah,
So
I've had that too.
how do you get them to settle down?
Um, I just pretty much demand them to settle down. I'm like, hey, I hear you. I understand it. I know that you're getting frustrated, but you just need to tone it down. I will eventually ask that question. It's like speaking to a child. Um, hey, I am here to help you. You need to tone it down a bit. I will ask that question when the investigator is listening or they're not focused on something. So, yeah,
Okay, I'll have to try that
yeah,
because
be really, really firm.
I always will start getting headaches and be like, I gotta walk outside because it just won't stop.
Yeah, because remember, at the end of the day, you're the one in control. So, but if it does get too much, then yeah, just be like, hey, I need a minute to walk away.
Yeah. So one
Because I,
question. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, I've done that in past. Like the one I was saying before, when I was watching another investigator live, and the spirit was just shouting at me. He's like, "Hey, I've fallen down a flight of stairs. Why are they not?" And I'm like, "Dude, tone it. I will ask them when they are ready." And then I was like, "Hey, you may want to ask this question: Did a spirit fall down the flight of stairs?" And then they came across yes.
Yeah. So Greg says, good to meet you. And he says he saw you on Matt Barton's show last night.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, gotta love Matt. Shout out to Matt. Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
Matt
been
is
really
cool.
supportive, and that whole crew have been amazing through my journey of doing what I'm doing. So, yeah.
And Greg, I will tell you, you watch any show on our network and you're guaranteed pretty much to see Nikki hanging out. She loves to support all of our shows, and I so much appreciate it. I know Carla does too. We always get excited when she pops in.
I love it. I just love helping people, you know, and meeting everybody around from the world. So, yeah.
Yeah. So, what advice do you have for sensitives that
Mm-hmm.
are one just starting and
Mm-hmm.
two that are started but are wanting to get like you more into the
Mm-hmm.
paranormal and start investigating?
Um, First one is if that has to do with crystals, ask for spirit guides. They will help you. Also, respect is a big one. Also, with investigators and spirits, because at the end of the day, they were living, and everybody should be treated with dignity and respect. Is my big thing. Because I live life, as I said before, that's why I live my life. Be respectful. And the other answer to that question, yeah, pretty much ask for your angels and whoever you believe in to look after you while you're doing investigative, or even reach out to a team as I have. I've reached out to Paralinx crew and also some other crew from other shows to help me do this. And yeah, they've been lovely and welcome me with welcome arms. So yeah,
Oh, we love you too.
love, share the love.
One question I get asked a lot about from people on my end and with other sensitives and mediums that I've talked with is, what is your method for grounding?
So what I like to do is if I do need grounding, I'll go outside and I'll just sit on the lawn and just zone out and kind of use that energy. Also, I use white sage. It's a big thing for me. Also, I use crystals, or I'll just sit in a room and just be like, "Hey, I'm buggered. Please leave me alone. I just need 5 minutes to myself," and then they'll eventually leave. But yeah, sorry, I'm just reading, Craig.
He's saying he's been around for quite a bit, and he says so. Nikki is a medium.
Yes.
So, do you call yourself sensitive, medium? What actually do you call yourself besides
So
Nikki?
that's okay. So I would classify myself as a spiritual sensitive medium clairvoyant. But I prefer just to do more spiritual side of things.
So, do you do
But I do.
anything to prepare to, like, if you're gonna watch a live, do you something to
Mhm.
prepare yourself to get in touch with the spirits that are gonna be there, or do you find you just start the live and boom, it hits?
I pretty much just watch the live and let it hit go. But I do tell my angels, hey, I'm about to go live. Can you please protect me? If I do get that feeling of, hey, a spirit's getting too close, I'll be like, dude or female, you need to back off because I'm feeling uncomfortable and this is not okay and you need to get out of my space. And I'm very firm on that. And I
Yeah.
have a lot of crystals. I have my crystal here. Um, I also have this one when I go live. I also have, I've got a lot of crystals. I might have this one.
Is that an egg?
No, it's a crystal.
No,
It looks like an egg.
it looked
Yeah.
like an egg from the way you were holding it. The
But
egg.
if you want to use an egg, go for it. Um, I have my little Buddha. This was one of my first crystals.
Oh wow, I've never seen a crystal like that.
So yeah, it's a little
Ah, it's like
Buddha. I have a lot of crystals around the house. But for safety, I do put them above because of my child. And I also have my tree.
I've seen trees like that.
Yeah, my lovely trees.
So Greg is wanting to know, do you work any more of the clairs? I'm guessing clairvoyant side.
Not at the moment, but I would like to develop that skill. But thank you for asking.
So being the background you have,
Mhm.
is there any gift like you see that other investigators have that you're
Mhm.
like, man, I wish I had that gift, and how do I build that gift?
Um, I love to have Christie's gift. Um, as people don't know who Christie is, she's the listening queen. Just to be able to kind of open up more, I guess, because I'm a little bit shy. Believe it or not, I'm a very shy person. So yeah, I would like to eventually be a little bit more out there in the field. So
Well, I will say one shy person to another, you're doing great. Hey, Irene's here from Japan.
oh, thank you. Hi, Irene.
So we got about 6 minutes left on the show.
Wow,
Unfortunately,
that was
Nikki's
quick.
got to cut it at the hour because she's got some stuff to take care of. So if you have any last minute questions, I suggest getting them in now.
Go
And do
for it.
you want to take the time to promote anything that's coming up for you?
So at the moment, I don't actually have anything coming up, but I would like to do a shout out to a lot of the paranormal crew, Paralinks, P3, Petri Dish, um, Hubu, which is run by Christine, and yeah, Matt Show, which is on tomorrow. And I'm putting a question mark because the time difference. But
Right.
yeah, stay tuned to watch them and enjoy their show. A lot of their shows are NC plus, so just beware. It does get a little bit crazy, but yeah, it's quite enjoyable.
Irene says, believe me, you don't want these gifts. And then
I
she
do.
says, it's something that I had to live with and it's no picnic.
But
I
it is.
sometimes I feel with you on that, Irene, and sometimes I think Nikki's got the answer to that is take charge of it, make them only work with you when you're wanting to work with them and stand your ground and build that respect
Mhm.
and they'll respect it back. So I think that is a really great piece of advice for paranormal investigators and those that are gifted is definitely keep the respect factor up.
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Greg.
No, you're welcome. Love meeting you too.
Irene says, I own it 365 days out of the year. Well,
Yep.
Irene, I'm glad you take that leap year off when there's 366 days. So I'm glad you take the leap year off every
Glad to
4
pick a
years.
day off. Yeah.
We all need a break
Yeah.
every once in a while.
I'm very strict with that. I'm like, hey, this is when I'm working and this is when you can come in and out. I'm very, very strict with that.
Sorry, I'm laughing because Irene put up 3 laughing faces.
It's all good.
We love you, Irene. She's another one of those that likes to pop in on all of our shows and support our networks. And I will say, if it wasn't for people like you, Nikki, and Irene, and Greg, our network would not be what it is. And that you guys help make our shows the awesome shows that they are because believe me, if it was up to me, my shy personality, this would be a very quiet hour show. So thank you all for helping us, and I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
And so we got 3 minutes left. So
anything,
Greg or Irene,
anything. It doesn't have to be paranormal. It can be anything.
And it doesn't have to be a question. You can throw out a comment if you just want to get a comment up on the air. That's, let's be respectful with the comments too.
Yeah.
There you go, Greg.
Thank you.
So that's a good question, actually, Greg. Does Australia celebrate Thanksgiving?
No, but I think we should. I think everybody should be thankful for what they have and, yeah, live life to the fullest and treat everyone with respect. So that's my little.
Have a happy Thanksgiving as well, Greg. And I feel like giving one day out of the year to give thanks just isn't enough. It's something we should do daily, but I do gotta commend family getting together because that is a hard thing to do and celebrating. So that is cool for those that can do that. And just taking a moment out of the day just to say thank you to someone is really cool, and you'd never know the impact that can have.
Mm-hmm. Or just even asking someone, "Are you okay?" Because we actually have that in Australia. I don't know if you guys have that in the US. It's called "Are You Okay Day." I'm just going to change the subject to a little bit more down. So, "Are You Okay Day" is for suicide prevention. And just reach out to your mate. Like, even if you see someone that's a little bit down, are you okay? Have a chat. Same with paranormal crew and stuff. If you're not okay, that is totally fine. Step back for a few days or however long you need, because you do need time to yourself and you spend time with your family. And we do really appreciate everyone on the network. Love.
Yep. So Rich said, great show. Happy Thanksgiving. So happy Thanksgiving to you too, Rich.
Thank you.
And Greg says, I will see you both around and say hi to Matt, please.
I will definitely say hi to Matt.
We'll both definitely say hi to Matt for you. All right. Well, we got about 10 seconds left. If there's anything else you want to give a shout out to, but I do got to say, I commend you all for having that day. Reach out and just say, are you okay? That is a beautiful thing. And that is something we probably should pick up in the U.S. and make at least once or twice a month kind of deal.
Yeah. That's one thing I love about it. And there is help out there. There's Beyond Blue, which is 131411. Or if you do need help in the US, it's 9888. or you can reach out to Howard's link, which we will put down at the bottom once the show has finished, and he helps people with that.
Yeah, I'll have to get Howard to comment it because I actually don't have that link.
Yeah, so we'll put that on
Reach
there
out
somewhere.
to Howard and see if he can link it to the show somehow or put it in the comments section. But thank you so much for being such an awesome guest and coming on our show. So appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
So I gotta ask Nikki, this being your first live, how did it feel?
Really good, actually. I really had fun and enjoyed it. First time being live with yourself. Yeah, really enjoyable. Love the audience and family throughout. So yeah, definitely look me up. I will be around everywhere. Pretty much, I'm on every show or in the chat room. Love, love, love.
Yep. So we appreciate you, and out of the time constraint, you can go ahead and check out, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, and I'll definitely love to do a new show with you.
Definitely. We'll definitely have you back on. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Take care, guys. Bye, guys.
Bye-bye. All right, folks. So that's the end of our episode with Nikki. Join us next week as Carla comes back. And let me check my schedule to make sure I promote this right. That we are having a guest return next week. One of our favorite guests is coming back on our show, the lovely and awesome Catherine Sorlios will be back on our show, and Carla will get to meet her for the first time. So that'll be entertaining to watch and to experience, and guaranteed to have a lot of fun. So we'll see you all on the next one. And from our show to you, for all those that celebrate Thanksgiving, have a happy Thanksgiving, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great adventure in your life.